Today we are going to be taking a look at my new favorite helmet, the POC Kortal Mips. Let's get into it. I'm a big believer of using something like Mips. The fact that you get the extra protection when you roll your head, you know, it's huge in case you have an accident. I really think it's important nowadays. I'm glad to see it actually making it over to Moto as well. So this is a trail enduro helmet. And the reason that is that it actually has quite a bit more coverage than your standard helmet. Now, I had a Troy Lee Designs A2 before this, but I wanted to switch over to this helmet mainly for the fact of it provided so much more coverage around my head. I definitely felt quite a bit safer. So this helmet in particular will actually give you more protection on the back of the head and more around your temple zone. So let's take off my hand up hat. You guys can pick one of these up at the link down below. It'll take you over to hand up, and there's also a code down there to where it'll take 10% off your purchase. Go check it out. All right, so the POC Kortal does not ship like this. I've actually customized mine a little bit with some wrap on the front to give it a nice little color pop. But yeah, so let's go ahead and pop it on. So as you can see, it is a bigger helmet on me for sure. And I don't know what it is, but helmets always look big on me. I always have to go with the larger helmet. I'm kind of on the in-between a lot of the times, and I always have to size up, unfortunately. I wouldn't mind trying this in the smaller size just to see if it fit a little bit better, but it is what it is. There's an adjustable clamp in the back that allows it to tighten down everywhere, not just on the back, and it makes it really comfortable doing that. So if I go to a side profile here, you can see that there is quite a bit more protection right here than, say, a standard helmet. And on the back, it does go far down on the back of my head, providing a lot more coverage. So this does have the newer Mips Integra protection inside. And basically what that is that the inner areas here kind of slide around. So this helmet has a thing called the Recco reflector, and it's an added safety measure into these helmets. As you know, POC does a lot of winter sports as well, like snowboarding and skiing. And so a lot of these search and rescue teams have these devices that can pick up on these reflectors from the sky, and it basically helps you be found during an avalanche, for instance. Granted, you know, we're mountain biking, we don't have to worry about avalanches, but it's the same principle that it's going to be able to make you found easier. Another interesting thing to note is that they actually have an NFC tag on here, which is really interesting. So basically what it does is it gives whoever finds you instant access to vital medical and emergency contact information. And that's pretty cool, the fact that they just come up, scan your head, and figure out who you are and who they need to call. And that's really cool, especially if you know you're diabetic or you have any other health issues. It's a really nice feature. One of the reasons I really picked up this helmet, not just for the extra protection, but the fact that it has so many vents. There's a ton of vents on this thing, and it breathes really well. It's very hot here. It's 106 in my garage right now. And as you can tell, I'm sweating quite a bit. It's hot in here. And this is what I do for you people. But yeah, so this breathes really well. There's a ton of vents on this thing, especially right here. I really like seeing these ones right here. That helps push in the fresh air on the front. It's interesting. On the top here, they actually have a thing that says Aramid Bridges, designed and engineered by POC, and they actually have a little see-through spot where you can see through. So this does have an adjustable peak, which I really like, and it's a lot easier to use than, say, what my Troy Lee Designs helmet was. It literally just, bam. Super easy to do. And they note that when you have it up like that, it allows it to fit goggles and sunglasses to be stored underneath the peak really easily. And let's test that out. Got my sunglasses. I actually haven't tested this, but let's see how this works. Oh, wow, actually. That's really good, except for you definitely don't want to go down the hill with them up there, but These actually form up pretty well. The POC makes a pair of sunglasses that are supposed to conform to this really well, but these actually do pretty well. Yeah, okay, we're gonna leave that alone. These are the Spy Flynn 50/50s. If you haven't seen my unboxing video on these, hit that link in the top right corner. So speaking of Spy, Spy is actually a small supporter of this channel. There's a link down below that'll actually get you a discount code. Go check it out. But these are my Spy Foundation goggles. These are actually technically moto goggles, but they work very well for mountain biking. And you can see my video on that up in the top right corner here. They're definitely pushing down on my nose a little bit. So what you're supposed to be able to do is push this up and put your goggles up there. Bam, now they're up top, they're out of the way, they're not on anymore. That's a really cool, nifty feature. I like that. And just want to bring it back down. Bam, don't forget to do that. Now you're good. Super cool. So one other cool thing about these is that they're actually designed to run the goggle strap in a particular way where it doesn't actually interfere with your ventilation. The strap runs just on its own little spot here, and it actually does not inhibit your ventilation. And that's huge. That's a nice to see that they're paying attention to the little details. That's super cool. On a side note, this helmet is technically e-bike certified. Now, I didn't necessarily know that you needed a e-bike specific helmet, but it does make sense given that you are riding a much heavier bike and you're more likely to go faster. So that's super cool. This is actually a very lightweight helmet as well. It is not heavy at all. This helmet comes in at 484 grams, and this is a size XL. So I think that's pretty respectable. I honestly don't necessarily know if that's a good number or not, but it feels pretty lightweight. And as you can see here, another cool feature is that in a crash, this is designed to break away, which is going to help reduce any rotational injuries that you might incur while crashing. So don't crash is the big part here. You know, POC, I think they really do care about safety, and that's one of the reasons I like this helmet is that they really care about safety. That's one of their big priorities. Yeah, there's a GMBN video where they actually went and visited the factory or their research and development lab. It's up here. Go check it out. This is the Mips version. They do make a non-Mips version, which is less expensive. And, you know, you're spending this much money, you might as well get the Mips. I think having Mips is way too important to cheap out on. So just get the Mips. Okay, so speaking of the NFC medical ID in here, let's check this thing out and give it a shot. Get started with your profile here, create profile, update tag failed, try again. Well, this is kind of a pain. I'm not sure if I'm blaming update tag failed. That's awesome. It is. Okay, whatever. I'll figure that out later. But yeah, so final thoughts. This helmet is super comfortable. It is very well ventilated. It is light. Yeah, I gotta say, this is a really nice helmet. I would highly recommend it to anyone looking for a nice, safe trail and enduro helmet. That's a half shell. I have done a review on the Fox Pro Frame, which is my full face trail helmet. You can see that up here. But yeah,